Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me in the third part of painting the Skycoach. I will be cutting it apart into smaller pieces and just showing you guys kind of what I'm using. So I'm going to be using the Minotaur hide for the highlights of the wood. I have used both the owl bear and brown wash to give it that look, and where is the other stuff? Alright, so don't worry, I've been using a bronze from Citadel as well for the rest of it. I am going to be using the gold for a highlight, and I believe I will be using a wash for the shading of the metal. And then I'll use some silver for like the little notches there and on there as well. Okay, I haven't dry brushed the wood yet, but after I do that I'm going to paint the sails. I corrected the color on this, I just have to shade it so it looks perfect. And I know it looked kind of bad there, but it can all be done, cleaned up, and apologies. Yeah, that'll look better after. I have tried to clean up the little details as much as possible. Sometimes it doesn't look perfect, but that's okay. Alright, so I am going to start off with dry brushing these. Here is my wet palette. Just makeshift. Just get a bit of paint on it. Make sure it's one of the flat type of brush heads. Get a good majority of it off. And then come on, lighting. There you go. Still need to take a bit more off of it, because you're just wanting it to pull on the details. And you can touch up with a bit of the brown wash after to bring back the darkness in the crevices if you like. Sometimes what will happen is it pools up in the back of the brush, and you'll get a gob of it right in the, or messing up is just what you're trying to do. Trying to make sure it's in the middle of the, sorry, make it in the middle of the screen or camera. Now, I would like to go with a more of a grayish tan, but the wood is a little bit red, so I'm going with the Minotaurs for the highlight of it, so it would pull out more, but it's not as noticeable as I was hoping for. So what I'll probably end up doing is putting a little bit of that gray getting a little bit more of that gray to just to give it like texture, your eyes will kind of enjoy, or not enjoy, it'll just be more appealing. Alright, I'll get back after, and I'll bring out one of the miniatures that I have painted before to kind of give that example of more than one color for highlights. I've finished highlighting these. I am going to let these dry, and I'm going to move on to the wash now for the bronze. I'm hoping that highlighting it with gold will pull out a nicer look to it. I do need to paint the white inside of the lights. After the wash is settled, then I can put the tannish blue on there. Just having to shake up the paint a little bit. Alright, here we go. I'm going to be using a wide brush that I ended up grabbing. Alright, so I'll just continue to do this until I get it covered. I'm going to end up using a smaller brush just so that I don't get all this pooling and mess. But you get the gist of it. Yeah, I'm used to smaller miniatures. I have painted something quite bigger, but that I'll have to leave for later because it is a end game kind of boss. Oop. Here, just hold it like that. Just get it everywhere. Yeah, I don't want any of the pooling to happen, so I'm just gonna quickly get the one side done. Okay. And I'll get back to you after getting it covered. So I did want a lighter color in between, so I kind of fixed that, but now it looks a little dirty and But I'm using a blend between brown and the flesh tones, just so I can give it a bit of a different color to it. But then dry brush all the mucky looking details to it. Kind of making it look like the wood stained. It may not look like it from what you guys can see, but over time it'll look like it's a weathered piece. Okay, so just letting the rest of it dry, but time to move on with the sails. These are the colors I used. White and bone. I know it looks like a mess, but it's kind of that. Alright. So I'm going to go pretty close to almost all of it. And then stop beforehand. But I want to spread it out so it doesn't take away the details of all this wicked looking work that's here. I'm going to be using a bit of the flesh tone for stains, and I'm going to be using a grayish white shade, and then dry brush it with this again. Alright, I'm going to cut this video short and put it into 4 parts, and I'm going to be painting the rest of this. I'll do the detail works. Maybe I'll leave one of them for you guys to see, but unfortunately I have a tight schedule. So I am just going to quickly try and do as much as I can. Alright. Thank you for joining me. I'll also show you a different color for this, etc. Show you the paint and all that. Alright. See you.